Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel today. We're diving into a topic that every man has wondered about. At some point, how to make a woman genuinely miss you even if she wasn't initially interested. Have you ever noticed that some men seem to leave a lasting impression on women, while others are quickly forgotten? This isn't just luck, it's psychology. Women don't miss just men. They miss those who create a profound emotional impact through mystery, confidence, or the right kind of presence or absence. In this video, we will break down the exact steps to trigger that sense of longing and curiosity in her mind. These aren't tricks or games. These are proven psychological principles that work. Whether you're in a relationship, dating casually, or even trying to reignite a lost connection. But here's the key. It's not about manipulation, but understanding attraction. When you know how women think and what makes them value a man, you naturally become someone they don't want to lose. So stick around until the end, because I'll share 7 powerful strategies that will make any woman think about you, miss you, and even chase after you. Let's get started. 1. Don't contact her. The power hour of absence. Women are accustomed to being pursued from an early age. They learn that attention from men is a given, something they don't have to work for. They expect texts, calls, and gestures of affection without needing to initiate this. Dynamic creates an unconscious sense of control. She knows that at any moment she can summon your attention with minimal effort. But when a man refuses to chase and steps back instead of leaning in, he disrupts her expectations. Suddenly, the control she assumed over him begins to slip and uncertainty occurs. When you disappear even briefly, the mind fills in the blanks. She begins to wonder, where is he? Is he thinking about me? Why hasn't he reached out without answers? The imagination takes over, often creating more intriguing scenarios than reality. Perhaps she assumes you've moved on, met someone new, or are too busy to think about her. And the more she speculates, the more she starts to feel something unexpected, curiosity, frustration, even a hint of longing. There is a psychological basis for this reaction. Studies show that rejection and unfulfilled desire activate the same neural pathways as addiction when a woman expects attention but doesn't receive it. The emotional response triggers an obsessive need to regain what was lost. The irony is she may not have even valued your presence before, but your absence makes her crave it. However, the effectiveness of absence relies on execution. An actual withdrawal means no calls, texts, or social media interactions. Absolute radio silence for at least 1 to 2 weeks. If she reaches out, you don't respond. Immediately delayed replies introduce an element of unpredictability, making her question where she stands with you and if she asks why. You've been distant, the response should be casual and vague. I've been busy, no explanations, no justifications. The most prominent mistake men make in this strategy is breaking the silence too soon. You undo all the tension you've created when you reach out. First, another common misstep is broadcasting emotions on social media. Posting sad or lonely content signals weakness. It tells her you're suffering in her absence. That's the opposite of what you want. If she sees anything, it should be signs of you thriving a new project. A night out, an achievement, not as a game, but as a demonstration that your life continues with or without her when used correctly. Absence isn't just about making her miss you. It's about shifting the balance of power. It forces her to realize that your attention is not guaranteed, that she has to work for it, and that perhaps for the first time she is the one left wondering, to show that you're still living your life. The social media tactic in a world where social media has become the modern-day window into people's lives. A man's online presence plays a crucial role in shaping how he is perceived. For women, social media isn't just a tool for sharing updates. It's a way to monitor, evaluate, and even rekindle interest in the men they find intriguing if she has ever been attracted to you. She's watching whether she admits it or not, and if your presence fades into obscurity. So, does her curiosity when a man stops posting or gives no indication of growth. It signals stagnation, and stagnation is the quickest way to be forgotten. The key is to craft a digital presence that subtly suggests a fulfilling and evolving life. It's not about seeking attention or proving something to her, but maintaining momentum. A well-timed photo of you engaged in a hobby, a casual update about professional achievement, or a snapshot from an outing with friends sends an unspoken message you are thriving and life moves forward with or without her. The moment she sees that you're not just surviving, but excelling, the fear of missing out begins to creep in. But the execution matters too much. Self-promotion reeks of desperation, while overindulgence in curated perfection makes you seem like you're trying too hard. A subtle gym progress photo hint at discipline and self-improvement. Without outright bragging, a picture from an event implies social engagement and a dynamic life without needing to. Stated explicitly, women are drawn to men in motion and continuously evolved because that energy is attractive. It sparks curiosity, breathes admiration, and most importantly, keeps you relevant in her mind. The biggest mistake men make is using social media as an emotional outlet. Posting about loneliness, heartbreak, or directly addressing her absence does nothing but kill attraction. It shifts the power. Dynamic revealing that you are stuck in the past while she has moved on. A man who has truly moved on doesn't need to announce it. He simply lives, and that alone is enough when a woman sees that your world hasn't stopped, when she realizes that she is no longer the center of your attention. She starts to wonder, and when curiosity turns into regret, the power returns to your hands. 3. Don't fall for attention. Bait. Ignoring triggers her more when a woman realizes she hasn't heard from you in a while. She doesn't just accept it and move on in. Instead, she tests the waters to see if she still influences you. These tests aren't always obvious. They often come in the form of a carefully curated selfie, an ambiguous status update, or a song lyric, dripping with emotion just vague enough to make you wonder if it's about you. Every move is deliberate, designed to provoke a reaction. She's not reaching out directly, but she's watching, waiting to see if you take the bee. Most men fall for this trap without even realizing it. They see a new post from her, and they double tap before they can stop themselves. They notice she's suddenly liking their posts again, and rush to return the favor. Or worse, they interpret a cryptic status as a sign that she misses them, and send a message hoping to rekindle something long lost. In doing so, they unknowingly reaffirm her power over them. She doesn't want to reconnect. She just wants to know she still holds space in their minds the moment they respond. She gets exactly what she wants, and the cycle continues. The only way to break free from this pattern is to detach completely when she posts a seductive picture, keep scrolling. When she randomly engages with your content, resist the urge to reciprocate. And if she finally musters the courage to message, you don't meet her excitement equally, respond if necessary, but keep it short, calm and nonchalant. Indifference is your greatest weapon, not because it's a game, but because it signals that you are in control of yourself. This approach unsettles her in a way that no words ever could. She begins to panic when she realizes that her usual tactics aren't working, and that she is no longer the center of your focus, and that when she starts working harder to regain the attention she once took for granted, she might double down posting even more, and finding new ways to trigger a response. But the more effort she puts in, the more she realizes something has changed. You are no longer responding as she expects. Unpredictability makes you infinitely more attractive. A woman is most intrigued by the man she cannot fully grasp, who remains slight, out of reach when she has to exert effort to regain your attention. She starts to see you as a challenge again, and in that challenge, attraction is reignited. But the moment you give in, liking her post, responding too quickly, showing her that she still has control, the game is over. She wins, and her interest fades, As soon as it is rekindled, true power comes from a man who doesn't need to seek valid, who isn't rattled by her absence or excited by her sudden attention. He moves through life purposefully, not in response to her actions, but in alignment with his goals, and that more than anything is what keeps her coming back. 4. Don't be too eager. Keep conversations short and mysterious. When a woman finally reaches out after silence, her interest is already piqued, but how a man responds in that moment can amplify her curiosity or instantly diminish it. If he reacts with too much enthusiasm, replying instantly and pouring out details about his life, it signals one thing: he has been waiting, and nothing dissolves attraction faster than the realization that a man is too available. Women are instinctively drawn to men who carry an air of unpredictability, the ones who seem slightly out of reach, engaged in their pursuits, moving at a rhythm unaffected by her presence. This is why delayed responses, brief yet intriguing replies, and an ability to maintain an element of mystery are so powerful when she texts, taking a few hours to respond, not out of calculated game playing, but because he is genuinely occupied, subtly reinforces his value. It communicates that his world is whole, and that his attention is earned not freely. Given keeping conversations short and slightly ambiguous keeps her engaged when she sends a playful, "Hey, stranger. How have you been?" A simple yet intriguing response like, "Hey, I've been great, just busy with work and some new projects. How about you?" does more than a lengthy explanation ever could. It acknowledges her message without overindulging, giving her just enough to wonder about the most effective way to sustain her interest is by knowing when to exit first and leaving the conversation before it runs its course, ending on a high note before the energy fades. She is left with a lingering sense of curiosity, wanting more rather than feeling like everything has already been said. The most common mistake men make is over-explaining, filling the space with excessive details and responding immediately as if she is the highlight of their day, while kindness and engagement are essential. Eagerness is not attractive. A woman is far more intrigued by a man whose presence feels like a privilege, not a given. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about naturally embodying the presence that makes her feel like she has to work for his attention rather than being served to her effortlessly. 5. Create jealousy. Make her compete for you. Women are naturally competitive, whether they acknowledge it or not. When they sense another woman finds a man desirable, their perception of his value immediately increases. It's not that they consciously decide to like him more. It's an instinctive reaction driven by a deep-rooted fear of losing out on something valuable. This is why creating just the right amount of jealousy can ignite a woman's emotional investment in ways that words alone cannot. The key, however, is subtlety. If a man is too evident in trying to provoke jealousy, he risks appearing desperate or manipulative. The most effective approach is to let her reach her conclusions, rather than directly feeding her the information, a simple group photo that includes female friends, a casual mention of spending time with friends, without specifying gender or even a social media post where another woman is tagged, is enough to plant the seed of curiosity. She may not show it openly, but she will take notice. Her mind will begin to fill in the blanks, and in doing so, she becomes more engaged once a woman senses potential competition. Her emotional response intensifies. She becomes more attentive, eager to win his validation and invested in keeping his attention. What was once a casual interest can quickly become a pressing desire, simply because the thought of another woman stepping in creates urgency. This is why a man perceived as desired by others is often seen as more attractive. His value is validated externally, making him a prize worth pursuing. However, There are pitfalls to avoid it, can backfire if a man pushes too far, flaunt his interactions with other women, or tries too hard to appear in demand. Instead of drawing her closer, it may trigger resentment, making her detach emotionally rather than fight for his attention. Likewise, if his actions come across as disrespectful or intentionally hurtful, he risks damaging trust rather than building intrigue. The goal is never to make her feel unwanted or replaceable, but to remind her that his attention is worth earning. Subtly attraction is rarely about words alone. It's about emotions, perception, and the unspoken dynamics that create tension and excitement. When a woman feels that others want a man, she instinctively sees him in a different light. If handled with care, this quiet form of jealousy can become one of the most potent forces in deepening attraction, making her see him not as just another man, but as someone she does not want to lose six. Give her a nickname, build an emotional trigger. A well-chosen nickname holds a psychological weight that goes beyond mere words. It becomes an emotional trigger, a private link between two people strengthening their bond when a man gives a woman a unique, playful, or meaningful nickname. It embeds itself in her subconscious every time she hears it. A rush of emotions, amusement, affection. Nostalgia floods her mind, drawing her thoughts back to the man who gave it to her. Unlike generic terms of endearment, a personalized nickname carries significance, reinforcing the connection in a way that ordinary words cannot. This effect is deeply rooted in associative memory. The brain links words to experiences, and when a nickname is used consistently within the context of a relationship, it becomes a mental shortcut for warmth and familiarity. If a man calls a woman by name tied to a shared joke, a unique trait, or an inside reference, it subtly reinforces their emotional intimacy. She begins associating that name with their feelings of sappy joy and chemistry. Choosing a personal and authentic nickname is the key to making this technique work. It should emerge naturally from an aspect of her personality, interests or quirks if she is fond of a particular dessert. Calling her cupcake or macaron adds a playful charm if she's known for always running late. A teasing name like Miss 5 Minutes Late turns an otherwise frustrating habit into something endearing. The goal is to create a verbal fingerprint, something only the two of them share, something that when spoken instantly brings a smile to her face. However, the wrong choice can weaken the effect. Overused or impersonal nicknames such as babe or sweetheart lack the uniqueness needed to form a strong emotional imprint. On the other hand, an overly obscure or rarely used term fails to create reinforcements. The balance lies in selecting something distinctive, yet familiar, something she encounters just enough in daily life to keep the memory alive. Once the nickname is established, its power grows over time. It becomes a marker of shared moments, whispered secrets, and the private world. Two people build together long after a conversation ends. Mentioning that name in another setting can spark a sudden rush of emotions. A well-placed nickname used sincerely and consistently becomes more than a word, a feeling, a reminder, and an unspoken bond that lingers in the mind, making its way into the heart. 7. Teach her something new. Establish leadership. A woman's attraction to a man isn't just about looks, status, or charm. It's about the experience he creates in her life. One of the most powerful ways to establish a deep emotional connection is by teaching her something new, expanding her world in a way that leaves a lasting impression. Women are naturally drawn to men who can lead, inspire, and introduce them to new perspectives. It's not just about knowledge, it's about the way a man makes her feel while she's learning from him. When a woman learns from a man, she subconsciously associates that knowledge with him, whether it's a new skill, a fresh outlook on life, or a deeper understanding of something she was once unfamiliar with, that experience becomes part of her memory of him. If you introduce her to a book that challenges her thinking, she will never forget you when she reflects on its lessons. If you teach her a workout routine that improves her body, she will link that transformation to you. If you take her to a place she's never been, she will forever associate the feeling of discovery with your presence. This connection is powerful because it's not just based on fleeting emotions, it's rooted in growth, admiration, and the sense that she is evolving in your presence. However, the key to making this dynamic work is in the delivery. Women respect men who can guide them with confidence, but confidence should never be mistaken for arrogance. Teaching should never feel like lecturing if a man comes across as condescending, dismissive, or overly critical. He loses the admiration he hopes to gain. The most effective way to establish leadership in a relationship is through patience, encouragement, and a genuine passion for what you share. Instead of forcing knowledge onto her, invite her into your world, allowing her to explore. At her own pace, men who successfully integrate this into their interactions become attractive and unforgettable. They become the reference points in a woman's life. The reason she starts listening to a new genre of music, reading books she never would have picked up, or pursuing hobbies she never thought she'd enjoy the value of a man. In a woman's eyes isn't determined by what he owns or how he looks, but by how much more prosperous, exciting, and fulfilling her life becomes in his presence. Attraction isn't about chasing or convincing. It's about creating the right emotional impact. Women don't miss just any man. They miss the one who makes them feel something rare, exciting, and irreplaceable by mastering mystery, confidence, and emotional depth. You position yourself as someone she cannot easily forget. The key is balance. Don't overplay any tactic. Combine them naturally to build intrigue, admiration, and longing. Remember, the goal isn't manipulation. It's understanding human psychology and using it to your advantage when you apply these